And hi guys, and welcome with me and dear Quinn here, the OG Warhammer fan. Hi to you, Quinn.
Hello, hello.
So we have gathered here today to witness this Cadia new trailer. Actually, we're going to talk about it real quick, react to it, talk about our thoughts about it and all those things, because this is actually one of the things that everybody are expecting, although we don't even know what exactly to expect. But Hammer and Bolter was never before in 3D, so this is pretty freaking significant, to say the least. We are ready to actually see this. It is very brief, but still.
Coming back was a bad idea.
We had to come.
Did we? Something is here.
Okay, so January the 22nd, we're going to go through this shot by shot now, because there's some stuff in there that I like to discuss. But yeah, that's pretty soon, like in a few days. So Quinn, do you have any thoughts before we restart this again?
For me, I get the impression it's pretty ominous, especially when they showed the Chaos Astartes being on planet. It makes you wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the thing that you mentioned actually before we started the stream is that we have no idea that this is all that it's left from Cadia, or it is just a part of it. I imagine that if GW want to make this more interesting, they would put a lot more pieces of Cadia, just floating around in space, so they can make different types of storylines with those pieces, and maybe bringing them together in some point. That would be interesting. I don't know how that makes sense, but I think it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, what do you think?
From what, okay, I have to suspend my belief when I see a segment of the planet. Now, we don't know how large it is, but even that does not look like it would retain a lot of atmosphere to sustain life on that chunk of property. What I read about the fracturing of Cadia is I didn't think it was just blown apart and all we have is that small little chunk of property. I thought we had a whole lot more than that. But the other thing that I thought I was reading about was that they were actually going to try and turn the world back into a fortress and use steel bands or something like that to kind of staple it. I put in air quotes, staple it back together to fashion still a broken planet, but a kind of quasi-functional world, or a planetoid, or a moon. And of course that would take the Mechanicum's assistance to do that. So yeah, I have to suspend my belief when I see that as being that's all that's left of Cadia. There's got to be a whole lot more to the planet than just that little chunk.
Hopefully. And I just put my helmet on, which is green, so that's why I disappeared.
Yeah, I can't see you. Where'd you go?
Yeah, I'm invisible now. But it's funny, it's like a black helmet that just blends into the space background that I have.
Well, it's almost like acting like your green screen, except for the highlight bits. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, anything that is green right now, it's gonna look this way. Basically. But I'm gonna keep it for Cadia, because Cadia stands, man. Cadia stands. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know my thoughts in just a second, because there are some points that I want to address here in the animation. So I'm not sure which studio is doing this, but a first thing that I notice here is that why is this eye look flat on a flat surface that has to resemble a face? It looks weird. I mean, since when the eye area is flat from all sides, because you have a bridge here that's like protruding forward, and it looks absolutely flat, and the cheek's supposed to protrude a bit forward, so the eye just sits in completely like in a flat face. I just don't get it. Yeah, look at this. It's just, and where the heck are the eyelashes? I mean, with the eye, not the eyelashes only, but yeah, where the heck are the eyelashes? But I mean, there are some from below, but where did up on the top of them. Maybe they got burnt. Who knows?
Maybe.
But where is the eyelid? It's like there's no eyelid. So weird looking. Like, look at that. Now I see it, but it just
Maybe
doesn't
it's
look
an alien.
right.
Yeah, it doesn't look right, does it?
Yeah.
Unless it's not human, maybe it's a Xenos.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be, I think, this battle
Acadian.
Cadian woman. Battle Cadian woman. Yeah. And these guys look, well, interesting. Just let me try to put this a bit like in a different exposure, maybe, to see it a bit better. Let me try with this. Like that. And that's too bright. Okay, like this. So we can see them better now. So this guy is pretty freaking big. I'm surprised how big that is. I don't remember the Astra Militarum portrayed this way. They always look like the same amount of buffness. But this guy looks like a Space Marine almost.
New technology, new animation style, you can get more body variation maybe, and so they're trying different skeletons. Because I've looked at the Canadian Forces or any military, you've got some really big guys, you've got some real short guys, you've got some really chunky guys and thick guys, and you've got some really scrawny guys, so that looks like a normal military to me now. More realistic or plausible.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. I mean, I love buff guys and huge guys, so if they make the Astra Militarum look like bigger, broader, I would love that anyways. So I cannot
Now, if they
complain.
came out Marine size, I'd say there was something, they were eating their Weetabix.
Yeah, look how substantial and thick they look, so to speak. And this guy just looks like World War II, air pilot or something.
I think he's probably a part of the tank division. He looks part of the armored corps. Because I know there's Soviets use helmets like that in their armored vehicles.
Could be. It's very retro. It's a retro look. And there's some kind of a guy behind him that looks like a zombie. Yeah. I believe Bob to you as well, and dear Clayton. Believe Bob says they all gonna die. They don't have what? They don't have in the team. Is that Ogrin?
An Ogrin. That's an Ogrin.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, they actually could have an Ogrin in the team. That was shown in Hammer and Bolter, the episode where they were fighting the Tyranids. I rewatched it like 2 days ago. So they did have an Ogrin there. But I wonder what happened to the Astra Militarum. Like, this is so ugly. just
It's
so
not a very flattering face. The animation's a bit lacking.
Yeah, this looks like 2010 type of a how they used to do faces and teeth. It looks like that. Not very good. But I think that this is the eye of the Astra Militarum that we saw.
And yet that guy looks fantastic animated face.
Yeah, it looks better
He
because
looks kind of plasticky, yeah.
yeah, he's not really doing anything though.
He was on the Botox plan.
No, because he has a lot of
Not him.
lines.
The other guy. The one with the surprised face. Him.
Is that's
He's
a
on the
woman?
Botox plan. Is that a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, she's on it. Okay. Take a bucket of poop, draw a line in the sand, and spread each one. I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it is a woman according to what I can perceive here. That looks like a woman to me, like a not very
Okay.
good looking woman at all, but a woman no less. So what the heck is that? Like, I just can't. I mean, is there any other way to do this animation without looking so bad?
Well, yet there's some faces, like the guy with the beard looks pretty good. He looks like he's got some texture on the face.
Yeah. Also.
But did you notice the Chaos Space Marine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's where you get that ominous feel, like what's on the planet with us.
Who do you think that is?
I think it's a Chaos Marine. Maybe it's a Night Lord.
A
Now that would
Night
really
Lord.
bring terror to them. Yeah, because
Don't
they
you
bring
think that
terror.
could be word bearers?
Could be. I don't think it's a word. Well, maybe a word bearer, but it's definitely not a world eater.
You know what I noticed also when this guy does the I mean
Okay,
he's
Arnold.
huh?
Okay, Arnold.
Yeah,
Arlene.
yeah. Uh, the bottom part of his face is like, you know, it's going before the upper part of the face. It's like he has like a reverse bite, you know what I mean?
Okay.
This is
Let's see it again.
exactly how it
Wind it
looks
back and
like.
play it again.
You know? I can see it.
Oh yeah, like the top part of the teeth are behind the bottom jaw.
Yeah, exactly. You see, like,
Yes, yeah, I see it.
it's very hard to stop
No,
it.
I can't unsee it.
You see?
Yeah, they're all doing it.
Yeah, and then you see this woman and she's doing the same, basically.
Maybe they've got orc genetics.
I don't know. They seem to be taking over something or they're scared shitless.
Massive underbite.
Yeah. Return to Cadia. January 22nd. Okay, so we have how many days until then?
7 days. The 15th, yeah, 7 days.
Yeah, exactly 1 week. So in 1 week, hopefully I can get into Warhammer Plus and I can review this. But this is definitely a huge step for Hammer and Bolter, unlike before, because I prefer the 3D animation. Do you prefer the 3D animation?
I like it, but I'm not a huge fan of 3D. There's only one movie I've ever seen that I really enjoyed in 3D, and that was Dread. But, there's potential there. I mean, that looks fantastic, that opening scene with the basilica or the building.
Yeah, and besides the old Hammer and Bolter animation was very,
Choppy.
yeah, it was like 10 FPS sometimes.
Yeah.
So
It
I
looks
didn't
like
like
they
that.
did it like from the 1980s, but even the 1980s did it better.
Yeah, there were a
The
lot of
cartoons.
moments that you see like fluent animation, and they really paid attention to how the characters were moving. And here it
Yes.
was like, yeah,
Like it was strobed. You're in a disco with flashing lights and you're getting snippet movements.
yeah. It
You're right,
reminds
she
me
doesn't
of
even have
Batman Beyond
eyelashes.
logo, Batman Beyond intro actually. Have you ever seen Batman Beyond intro, because they're dancing and the music's like and they're doing this like all the time.
A long, long time ago.
It's very funny, like this.
Origato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, so something like that. Okay guys, so yeah, of course, let us know what you think in the comments, because this is the first animation for 2025 actually from GW. And they actually released their financial report, which I intended to cover, but I'm gonna be a bit late with it. There's some things to discuss there. It turns out that we're going to have, for sure, movies and TV shows now for Warhammer 40k. So, have you seen the financial report, Gwen?
No, I haven't.
Well, it covered some stuff, of course. It's a financial report. They said that online sales suffered compared to previous year, but everything else, they're up in revenue. So
Okay.
maybe people that were outraged about female custodians decide to not purchase online through their site. Maybe that is what is indicated there as a bit of a loss, but who knows? We can only speculate if that is the reason, but that is the only place where they had less revenue. But
Right.
the main part was the fact that it did say that going forward there supposed to be Warhammer movies and TV shows and merchandise. That's what it was.
Well, technically, Games Workshop already produces their merchandise.
Yeah, I know, but now
The
probably it's
tabletop
gonna be
miniatures.
something else.
Yeah, like maybe more T-shirts, but I mean, Joy Toy already makes the action figures in McFarlane. So what more merchandise do you need? They've already got the merchandise plants open. Video games is already a thing. Novels are already a thing. But it would be nice to see a decent Warhammer show, even animations, live action. I think live action will be a lot more difficult to make it look good. I'm skeptical. I'm keeping an open mind because a lot of what will have to be done, like the Space Marines, will have to be computer graphically generated. I mean, you'll have a human head, kind of like what they did with 300, putting heads on big buff bodies. And then the armor, because I don't know if you can make practical armor move and make it look like a moving Space Marine. Because we've seen people cosplay Space Marines. The armor looks fantastic, but it doesn't move as well as it would on a naturally built 7-foot or 8-foot tall monster. But
Yeah. It
now I
has
have
to
two
be
questions.
very light, but looking very heavy.
Yeah. So, with the release of this coming video or this show, do we know how long it will be? Is it going to be just a little short, or is it going to be a 20-minute hammer and bolter episode? Are we
Well,
going to get a full story?
I really didn't find any information about that. Otherwise, I would tell everyone, this is going to be this and
Yeah,
that.
because it looks like there could be an interesting story to be told there, or at least an opening to actually create further stories down the road. Because
Yeah.
what's going to happen to the the Cadian population? Because I understand a bunch of them are on the phalanx right now, as I understood it, which is being supported by the Imperial Fists. But will they return back to the planet and be the gate from the Eye of Terror? Who knows? Kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're basically working on other planets. They're
Yeah.
a bit, split. And
Yes.
they're just serving other places because there's nothing to do here, or is there?
Where is there? The big question.
Yeah, well,
But,
we'll definitely see very soon, guys.
but my other question is about that financial report.
Hmm.
Has the Custodes Codex been released yet?
Nothing about the custodies.
Nothing but the Codex?
I mean,
Because, yeah, because the whole financial situation will determine whether people want to play the tabletop or not, or go make a printer go burr, is if they double and triple down on female Custodes. So we'll find out if the book says female Custodes for sure, and if they actually make a miniature of it. And then we'll see what happens with Amazon's TV show and what Henry decides to do with that. But I think they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot if they go down that path. Because back in 1980, when they brought in Space Marines, the female warriors in power armor could not sell, and the warehouses told them, yeah, they're just sitting here in the warehouse because the buyers don't want to purchase them for sale. They don't sell. I think the same thing's going to happen again, in fact, even more so.
either that or the general audience, because this is Warhammer going mainstream. They have no idea if they're supposed to be female custodies or not. They're just gonna take it at face value, and that's gonna be it. So nobody would
It's a
care
possibility.
if they're integrated well in the TV shows or in the movies. Absolutely nobody would care from the general audience because they have no reason to care. They're there already when everything is all done and over, and we're the ones that initially know what happened, that are like, no, we don't want this, it's lame. Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you popularize something. It becomes watered down. And because then they want to expand it to a wider audience. But we'll have to wait and see. That's all we can do is wait and see. But it certainly seems interesting, that's for sure. I am liking what I see so far overall. I mean, there are things we can nitpick like we did with the video, but the story looks compelling, so it's got my interest.
Yeah, for sure. And to compare a bit, I mean, I was on that other side when Star Wars episode 7 came out, because I really, really liked it at the time, and OG Star Wars fans were like, blah, this is horrible, they ruined Star Wars, Disney ruined Star Wars, I'm gonna kill them all, and all those things. I mean, I literally had one friend that was so disappointed. He was basically spilling his guts all the time. He was
Yeah.
like, blah, and I'm like, why? Because I was that general audience that I'm just casually watching Star Wars and I found it really, really fun and I really didn't see any issues with it. Now I know that Rey is a Mary Sue and whatever, but
Yeah.
back then I'm like, what the heck is a Mary Sue? I mean, she has talent, she's probably special, but then everybody else explained what is actually the problem with her, that she hasn't actually earned it, she's just there. And she
Yeah,
already.
she got it. Yeah.
She what?
Well, when first watched the movie as well, I was on the fence. I walked out. And I felt like I'd seen it before, and that I was entertained, but at the same time, that's Empire Strikes Back. Oh, that's A New Hope. Oh, yeah. It felt like a rehash of everything, and also the fact that she was feeling like a bit of a Mary Sue at the get-go. I didn't totally dislike it, but then the more that I slept on it and thought about it, and then hearing other people saying the same thing that I felt, it was like, yeah, it's kind of rubbish. And then they brought out the second one, and it cemented the idea of that, yeah, it's absolute garbage. It's Disney Star Wars. It's not Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, now I understand it, but
Yes.
to me it was a very fun movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So now if I'm the general audience and I'm seeing Warhammer 40k and there are female custodians, I would think nothing of it.
Yeah, but there will be some people from that group that'll catch on to the OG fans realizing, yeah, this isn't right, and they'll probably pick up that sword or that banner as well. But then there are still the bulk of the people that will just watch it casually and just be entertained by it and carry on and not even care.
Yeah.
But then they're not going to get into Warhammer 40k either. But usually the people that catch on to things and actually get involved, like you realize that, yeah, this isn't supposed to be right, and then their attitudes change. But it's going to be reflected either way in the final balance sheet for Games Workshop and Amazon. They're going to have to play a very fine game, because I think going the Femme Stoties route is going to be a big mistake for them
Yeah.
financially.
And the other thing is that I'm noticing in all of the animations that we saw so far, of Warhammer Plus, they're putting a female soldier everywhere in our faces, literally, like here. They're doing that all the time with all the trailers, all the things.
Yeah, well,
So, I mean, Astra Militarum, they do have women there. They're common, but I don't think they're that common
no.
to put them like in leader positions, which
I
happen a few
honestly, I
times
think
in these animations.
Honestly, I think the number of females in the Astra Militarum scaling up with the population of humans in that world would be similar to what you have in modern armed forces today. Maybe like 5, 10, 15% at most. And how many of those are in actual combat arms and not just logistics? So, yeah, it's basically Games Workshop promoting the message, but you can look at it from either point of view. I don't have a problem with females being in the Imperial Guard. I love the idea of the Battle Sisters and the Sisters of Silence. I think those are fantastic additions. They're plausible. There's a story for them. There's a reason for them to be there. They're
Yeah.
kitted out properly. It all makes sense.
They are
But
stronger than a
forcing
regular
things.
person.
Yeah, but forcing things does not work. Because it's obvious that it's being forced and not put in there naturally, organically.
Yeah, it's just that every time that I see like a female soldier, I'm like, isn't that too often? It feels too often to me. It doesn't feel right. I mean, I understand if there's like a female commander that is very good strategist, which has nothing to do with physical strength or ability. It just has to do with a brilliant strategic mind, which is totally possible. But when I see like a soldier on the field and it's a woman, like too often, it does stick out a lot. And in Bahrain Nexus, there was a female soldier there. The trailer for the Night Edition was, with the female soldier up front. Then there's the Hammer Bolter episodes, in which you can see a female commander in the Cadia / Tyrannus episode right away. Then you can see a female commander actually in the Tides episode 3, I think, was it, with the orcs.
Yes.
So again and again, you see a female in command. That was even a black female in the last one.
Girl bossing it, yeah.
So
It's almost coming
it
like girl,
sticks
girl
out.
bossing.
It does stick
Yeah,
out.
it does. Yeah. But it's all for inclusivity, remember? Got to be inclusive. And diversity. Got to have diversity.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
I mean, I don't feel included. I mean, this is supposed to cater to me because I'm a girl, but I don't feel included at all. I'm just like, where are these women? Why are there so many women? I have nothing against, of course, women being in the army or women being in fantasy army or whatever. It's just that it really doesn't feel correct somehow.
No.
And I kind of prefer to see male soldiers on the screen because they do fit in more. They just do. A woman with a huge armor like that is just weird to me. I mean, I love the other. I mean, I love Sisters of Battle and Sisters of Silence, and they have pretty big armor, but they're enhanced in many ways. The armor.
Well, the armor enhances them.
Yeah, the
They're
armor
not
is
genetically
powered.
enhanced or
I know.
bodily enhanced, but
I know.
they've got specialized training to use the armor, and they're dedicated. They've got combat training and other specialty skills. It's just more plausible.
Yeah, it's totally different with them. I can assimilate. I can see them in these heroic roles. It's just totally different. To me, they're like warrior women, that are very capable. But a regular soldier, just put into the army like that, it just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
No.
fit very well.
Because the other thing is with the Sisters of Battle and the Sisters of Silence, they're population-wise extremely rare because it's not cheap. And there is an economy of scale as well in the 40K universe. There's economy. It's not cheap to manufacture power armor. It's not something that you find off the street in any, knock shop next door. So it takes a lot of skill and technology and money to create the power armor. So you're not just going to give it to anybody, but the ecclesiarchy gives it to the Sisters of Silence because they are their combat arm of the church. But they're not numbering in the billions that you'd have of the Imperial Guard. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I agree. It's just they're trying to force too many things in to promote the message than just trying to tell a good story. And I would rather have a good story. I don't mind seeing women on the battlefield at all, the whole 9 yards, but make it look plausible. Make it look like it's meant to be there and not just sticking out like a sore thumb because it's, the latest current day modern audience bullshit that we have to deal with.
Yeah, and watching, of course, the other aspect is just watching women suffer along with the other soldiers and be killed brutally. I mean, that's equality and all, but it's not like the best thing that I want to see.
To become somebody that wants to be in the military, realistically, I think there's only 2 reasons. One, you're absolutely Looney Tunes crazy, or 2, you actually want to do something for your country and you care about the nation. Why would a woman want to subject themselves to that kind of misery? I mean, guys really don't want to do that. Why would women want to when they've got better things to do with their time and they can serve their countries in more useful in a better capacity than just throwing their lives away to be something in a meat grinder? I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't
I don't
make any sense.
see. I mean, I'm a guy. We are kind of, in reality, throwaway. We're disposable. It only takes one guy to take care of a harem of women to keep the population going. Women they're unique. They're special. They have something that no guy can do. So, yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah,
But
nobody
that's a
does.
personal issue. Yeah.
Nobody does. That is how, they're just trying to warp reality, the warp,
Yes.
in different ways. But it really does not serve actually anyone. It doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve anyone. So it's
But
totally
40K got it right. They're predicting the influence of chaos, and that's what the whole DEI is. It's all chaos.
exactly. It's literal chaos by definition, by action, by everything.
It is, and you can see it one for one. That whole, that blob on a wheelchair in Space Marine armor. That's Nurgle through and through. Body positivity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Plus
it's
size, plus size.
plus size. Oh, and it's gay and it's transvestite. So of course that's Slaanesh. And of course, because we're supposed to accept it and as reality, well, that's Zinch's influence.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
There was a very funny video that got super viral, like maybe 5 years ago by this point. It was called "Dear Fat People" by Nicole Arbor. It was very famous. If you can watch it, watch it. I just die from laughing every time that I'm
Okay,
watching it.
I'll look for it.
But she's like, she's a comedian, but everybody hated her guts because she did that video because she was very direct and with very funny ways of expressing herself. She explained how she had like a fictional thing happening to her where a big fat person was sitting next to her in a plane and his fat was on her. And you just gotta watch it. But the last thing, I mean, one of the things that she did was like, plus size, plus diabetes, and plus this. So
Yeah.
Warhammer plus, plus inclusivity, and plus stupidity, plus.
Yeah. I wonder if all that started after the whole atheism plus thing started. Good grief. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the DEI stuff crept up from, is when atheism started becoming a big thing. Suddenly, the wackadoodles in the Social Justice Warriors network took a hold of it, and they turned it into atheism plus. That's when society fell apart. Because I can watch it. Honestly, I think that's where things really started to go downhill. Was from the atheism went to atheism plus, because now we don't have anything to keep society in check. Now people have to have ideologies, and it's just one huge ideology is DEI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, there's a lot of nuance to this, but it's definitely
There is.
there's something definitely there that has to be discussed and thought about for sure.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this upcoming show on the 22nd. I'd like to watch it. I don't know how I'll do it, but maybe I can find some people to talk to help air it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it has potential, and we don't know yet we'll see anything from Henry Cavill's endeavors. That could be 2027, they say. So 2 years from now.
Yeah.
So that's a wait.
Well, we can hope, and of course, I'm gonna cover everything that is leading up to this, whatever there is
Yes.
to cover. The other thing is that actually in the financial report, it says, I think it said that GW is gaining like 1 million, one something million pounds a month from Warhammer Plus. I think it is, or I'm not sure if it's like one. I really gotta check it, but
Yeah.
it's still very
But it's actually-
substantial.
So it is actually working for them now. It's not, because originally I thought they were taking a loss from Warhammer Plus.
Well, from 1 million pound, that's a lot for a site, and really the content
is.
there is so stale. There's really nothing and a half. I mean, there's of course the series that I already created, which is not nothing, but it's just sitting there for months and months. So basically, in a whole year of 12 months, they only have 3. I'm not sure if it's even 3 animations that are just like up to 3 episodes, which is ridiculously slow rate of producing content there
It is, yeah.
for the amount of money that you're getting. Because if I'm not interested in the other videos that I can easily get on YouTube, the lore videos, the painting videos, all that information can be easily found, and I would be there for the animations. And if they're like one every few months, then why am I subscribing like through the whole year? Isn't I mean
Yeah, that's
the
a
miniature
lot
is
of
not
money
even
to-
worth it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to piss away for no content.
Yeah, I have to find my previous miniature that I got from the first year of Warhammer Plus, and this is again because one of my supporters helped me do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. So I do have one miniature, like with the Sisters of Battle, and one assassin that's trying to shoot through her head because she's basically like a statue that is on a building or something. That's what I
Okay.
have.
Yeah.
Gotta paint that or sell it. because it's rare. Okay, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go. It's late here in my country, and for Quinn, it's not that late, but still, we gotta go in any case. So, yeah, let us know what you think. Are you excited to see this first 3D episode of Hammer and Bolter on Warhammer Plus? What actually is making you subscribe to Warhammer Plus? Is it the animations? Is it the painting? Is it the lore videos? What is it? Would you even support, GW by this point in this kind of a way? So yeah, let us know. And if you like to support me, the links are also down below to my educational, non-explicit content, you know where I'm really trying to help you guys be non-Slaaneeshy and take more care about, about your health and overall well-being, really, guys. But yeah, it's really late, so thank you, Quinn, for joining. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Quinn is like the wolf right there, by the way, guys. Okay, with me, the 40k Empress. See you soon. Bye bye.